Hey everybody, Greg Stevens here of the Pop Arena and the Opinionated Animorphs Book Guide. And I'd figure when I'm in between episodes of the Opinionated Animorphs Book Guide and when I'm not working on the Pop Arena, I should probably film something so that you guys don't lose interest in me. And really with those two shows, my amount of things I can talk about are pretty limited. So I'm going to do some kind of vlog things here. Probably not going to talk too much about my personal life. It's not going to be a blog, but just some thoughts that I had during the day, or in this case, a movie review. Because I just got out of the theater to see the latest in science fiction films, Splice. They're going to be sort of spoilers. I'm not going to give away like the ending or anything like that, but who knows what I'm going to give away. Splice is the next in line of a long strand of what I like to call the don't mess in God's domain science fiction films. And I have to admit my bias right off the bat. I hate those kind of science fiction films. I think they're dishonest and at best, hurtful at worst. If you're given if a film gives a negative view towards progression, yeah, fuck that. I didn't like, if you're gonna do that, it has to have something compelling in addition to that kind of a plot. This kind of plot goes all the way back to like Frankenstein. And Frankenstein, and especially Bride of Frankenstein, you had the really good performance of Boris Karloff as the monster. Without the scene with Boris Karloff and the little girl by the pond, the original Frankenstein wouldn't be that compelling. I don't think so. That scene was cut in the original release, so I'm kind of surprised it was as successful as it was. Maybe it was just a simpler time. I might go into a lot of tangents here, so this will probably be. I'll try to limit it to a 20-minute, two-part video. We'll see how well that works. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of these kind of plots. I didn't like in Jurassic Park, especially the novel version of Jurassic Park. Which kind of sucks because I actually recently got into a serious discussion about Jurassic Park, and a lot of people had a lot of my friends had strong memories about it because they saw it in the theater when they were like 8, and it was all, wow, dinosaurs, cool, and like, yeah, I did that too when I was 8, and I went to see Jurassic Park as a kid. That was really awesome. And it's a groundbreaking special effects and whatever. But when you think about it as an adult, it really doesn't hold up, at least not for me. So, Splice is the next in line of these don't mess in God's domain films. It's the stem cell research version of Frankenstein, basically. The film has these two scientists, played by Adrian and Sarah. I hate pronouncing names. Anyway, these two scientists, Adrian and Sarah, that's not the character's name, that's the actor's name. They're scientists, but this is a detail I actually kind of like. They're kind of these East Coast geek, chic, nerd kind of characters as opposed to just scientists. No, they're on their off time. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the impression is they collect manga. So that was interesting. I like that. Their characters are, at least at the beginning of the film. At the beginning of the film, their characters are very kind of wild. Like they would probably follow like like a Radiohead tour or something, if that makes sense. That gives you an idea of their characters. Okay, so they're scientists, and they're developing. They're basically genetically creating new herd animals. These like dog-sized slugs, which produce proteins that would be helpful in medicine, and that's all great and all, but the bigger corporations are going to take over their research, and they basically, in a fit of a drunken inspiration, they decide to splice human DNA into their herd animal creature. They already made 2 herd animal creatures, so they decided to make a 3rd one with human DNA just to see what would happen. And the result creates a Dren, a rapidly aging creature that looks mostly human, but she's got like kangaroo feet and a stinger and a weird butt crack up down her head. And for a lot of the movie, it's these 2 characters raising Dren secretly from the higher-ups in the scientific hierarchy, and trying to figure out what to do with her while figuring out what the hell Dren is. And it works, kinda. The main issue comes in the 3rd act, when they decide to move Dren out of the lab into a barn that's owned by Sarah's character. And okay, for the first 2/3 of the film, Adrian's character is completely repulsed by Dren. Never wanted to do this experiment in the first place. Attempts to kill Dren at one point, and is really fearful for their future because of this illegal experiment they did. While Sarah's character is very motherly, treats Dren kind of half like a pet, half like a daughter. And then they get to the barn for the final 3rd, and then those 2 characters switch places. Sarah suddenly becomes very cold and calculated and starts punishing Dren in more extreme ways, while Adrian becomes more warm and caring for Dren. And it doesn't come off natural at all.